Chris, I'm going to ask about Olivier Vernon. How have you seen him improve over the last few weeks, especially it seems since Myles had that COVID situation?
Yeah, I think the thing with OV, I mean, he's been pretty consistent the whole season. I think his opportunities have just obviously come more, when Myles was missing time. And then, the other night he got 2 more sacks or whatnot. But overall, not just about the sacks. I think he's been pretty consistent play. He's been one of our best edge setters in the run, which is what it all starts with for us up front. And then, pass rush, he's a power rusher. He's got great upper body strength, and he walks guys back a lot. So I'm just happy to see him have success.
Thank you, Jeff. Nate Ulrich is next.
Hey, Coach. Where do you kind of assess where Myles is at in terms of coming back, from the absence and the illness? And, it would, I guess, kind of be normal or to be expected if he wasn't quite himself. Do you think that's kind of what's going on with him still? Is he still working his way back to true form?
Yeah, I think Myles is still playing at a high level. Whether or not the stats were there the other night that people want to see, I still think that Myles is himself. He's playing good, and I think for anybody to go through that sickness and then miss 2 weeks and really not doing anything to come back and work himself back into it, that's what they talk about in this game. You take a week off; it's really hard. So I think he's just fine. Very excited to see him get back out there Sunday night. I know he's super eager about it, and he's ready to roll.
You kind of check in with him, daily when you guys get to practice about, what kind of progress he might be feeling, or do you kind of just sit back and wait till game day?
Yeah, I sense that Myles is totally fine. At practice, he's flying around, he's rushing, his legs look great. So, I don't sense anything wrong with Myles. I think he's ready to roll. And like I said, in my mind, he's still playing very good football.
Thank you, Nate. We'll go to Mary Kay Cabot.
Hey, Coach, just wondering, what it's like for you guys to be sort of, still this late in the week, and you don't know if you're preparing for Daniel or Colt. And so I guess what do you think about both guys, and how's that prep going for you?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes, obviously you go through that in every year, preparing for guys. You don't know who's going to start, but obviously 2020, with their building being closed yesterday, not even practicing, adds another element to it. So, yeah, we're very eager to know who we're facing, but we're preparing for both. We're preparing for Daniel Jones to be able to run, where last week he wasn't able to run with his injuries. So you have to prepare for everything. You never know what you're going to get. Obviously, we watched Colt versus the Seahawks, and, you evaluate that film. So we look at everything as a coaching staff. We feel like we have a great plan no matter who we face. And but it's all going to start with the run for those guys. So that's what it's going to be, regardless who the quarterback is. Coming out trying to establish that run, that's what they've shown their identity to be. So we're ready to stop that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. We'll go to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Coach, I know how tough it is with Lamar just to stop him in general. But when you watch a film of that, how did you think you guys did as far as keeping the discipline in the gaps and doing that? Yeah,
it's you just remember the negative ones, the ones where you didn't get it done. Coaches do, players do, media does. So, unfortunately, we had 4 sacks. Felt like we got after him at times, but the ones where he got you, it stings. And nothing we can do about it at this point. Learn from it, as we always do, moving forward. And, we got a big challenge ahead of us here in 48 hours. So we're excited about this new opportunity.
And with Myles back to health, and it looks like OV and Adrian are healthy after early in the year, do you feel like your line's best ball is still in front of them?
I don't know if I'd say our best ball's still in front of us. I think for everybody, it's always a progressive thing throughout the season. It's always great when we have our top 8 healthy, which we're going on 2 weeks in a row now, of having all 8 guys available. So I love our group. I feel confident in our group. We can mix and match a bunch of different ways. I feel like they're a strength for us. So, whether or not we're playing our best ball, I don't know that. But I do know that I feel very confident going into any matchup with this group of guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Nate Ulrich, you're up.
Coach, you kind of jumps out and you see the Giants were sacked 8 times against the Cardinals. But you mentioned earlier, Daniel Jones was really unable to run. So do you see a lot of opportunity there? Do you chalk that up mostly to the injury? Kind of how do you view the matchup and the opportunities for your group?
Yeah, I think, they have a young offense tackle who's going through some rookie growing pains. I think that's a part of it. I think that they were playing down from a couple scores. I think that goes into it. And then Arizona obviously did a great job of executing. They ran a bunch of stunts, they ran some pressures, and then Daniel Jones being hobbled. It was a combination of things, but I think we're very capable of having that type of day if we do what we're supposed to. So they're excited about that. My guys saw the film. They're ready to roll, but we know we have to earn the right to rush the passer this week more than any week we've had all year. So we got to stop the run first, make it our type of game, and then see how the game unfolds from there.
Thank you, Nate. Do we have anything else for Coach Kiffin? Take one more from Scott Petrick.
Hey, Coach, how good has Sheldon been for you all season long? And I'm also curious, what's he like in the Zoom meeting rooms? He seems like he's got a lot of personality. Does that show up in the daily Zooms?
Well, I'll answer the second part of your question first because, it was a long virtual off season, and I never got to meet the guys before we started that meeting. So before we started that off season, so we'd go through the virtual days, and it was just like, as a coach, you kind of like when you're in the room and guys are joking around every now and then, and the mood is light. Like on Zoom, they were all muted the entire off season. It was so frustrating for me. I had to tell these guys, like, guys, you got to treat this like meeting room. And so, of course, 98 was the first one to speak up, unmute himself, and crack a joke or whatnot. But he's a character. He's a lot of fun, big personality, gets the guys going. When Sheldon's happy, everybody's happy. So, and then he's played very well. He's always around the ball. He gives great effort. He's got great awareness of rushing the passer, and that's why you see him getting a bunch of half a sacks because he's coming around the corner at the right time, or he's, diving in at the right time. But he's a valuable piece for us up front.